Good morning, everybody. It's Estelle, and welcome back to my channel. It is Saturday, February 25th, and it's about 11 o'clock or a little after. I'm headed out to the post office. I have to mail something out to my job. I'm going to go to the bank and pay my rent, and then I'm going to the cemetery today. I'll give a little bit of an update when I come back. Tomorrow, in the evening, I'm going with a friend of mine to see Tyler Henry, the psychic medium, so I'm really excited about that. I don't watch his shows, but I have seen them like here or there. I don't know if he's legit or not, but I'm going to go and, have a good time. So anyway, so I'm headed out now, and and I'll touch base later. So I'm back from the post office and the bank. Sorry, I didn't film anything because the post office was very crowded. I couldn't believe it, how crowded it was. It was like, wait, is this Christmas time? What? Why is there so many people here? I forgot it's a Saturday. And then when I went to the bank, I go to Wells Fargo, and I had to go to Wells Fargo today to deposit my rent check into my landlord's account. And I have to go to Wells Fargo to do that. And the Wells Fargo near me, they have, several lanes, but the commercial lane was closed today. So all the commercial people were in the regular lanes. So that took me a little bit, but, and to be honest, I completely forgot to film, and who wants to see you in a drive-through? Nobody. So anyway, I just got back, and I don't have anything pressing for this afternoon. I am going to work on school stuff today. I also need to think about cleaning my shower, and I'm either going to do that today or tomorrow morning, because I have all day tomorrow. We don't have to go to see Tyler Henry till later on in the evening. His show starts at 7:30, I believe. So anyway, so I got the rest of the day. Now I want to give a little bit of an update. And I did go to the cemetery, and I saw my parents and my brother. My dad, as you all know, I was a caregiver to my dad. He was diagnosed in August of 2021 with congestive heart failure. He already had COPD and all of that. And my dad was pretty good for almost all of 2022 until he took a turn for the worse the week before Thanksgiving. Hospice put him on crisis care, which means pretty much that they suspect that he's going to pass away soon. And so they had a nurse here 24 hours a day, every day. He passed away November 25th, 2022, the day after Thanksgiving. He passed away early in the morning. And thank goodness there was a nurse here. There wasn't supposed to be. But I think the day nurse on Thanksgiving Day, I think she suspected that that my dad was going to pass away. Because he slept all day Thursday and he didn't eat anything. He stopped drinking coffee because my dad was a big coffee drinker. He didn't drink coffee all day, but he usually had 2 cups in the morning. That was his thing. He had orange juice. Then he would have something with the orange juice, like cereal or a donut or crackers or croissants, whatever we had in the house. And that was his thing. And he always had his 2 cups of coffee. And Tuesday, he didn't want any coffee. And it scared me because I know how my dad was drinking his coffee in the morning. That was his ritual. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, he drank a half a glass of juice and he didn't eat anything all day. And he was, like I said, he was sleeping all day. And Thanksgiving evening is when he started with the labored breathing. Sorry. The evening nurse came, and the evening nurse was giving a report to the day nurse was giving a report to the evening nurse. And my dad wasn't responding, and so they called me in because they thought that he had already passed away. And so I went in screaming for my dad, hugging him and telling him I loved him so much. And he wasn't dead. He was alive. And he was motioning like this. I'm pulling away so I could see. He was motioning like this. And the nurse and I thought he wanted something. And all of a sudden, he tilted his head to the right. And his eyes went blank. And I swear that that's when my dad's soul left his body. Because there was nothing here. It was just a blank stare. I can't even imitate it. It was just, there was nothing. There was nothing there in the eyes. And it was right after that he started his labored breathing. And that's when I knew he was going. I was in the room for a while and I told him how much I loved him and what a great dad he was. And I said, it's okay to go, Dad. I'm going to be okay. Even though I didn't believe that at the time, but I said it anyway because I wanted my dad to know that it was okay. No matter what, even if I have to live in my car, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be fine. I'll figure it out. And so I was stroking his hand, holding his hand, stroking his arm, still telling him how much I loved him. And of course I was, crying. And I said, sorry about that, I was crying. So anyway, I started to fall asleep. I was sitting on my dad's walker and I started to fall asleep, and the nurse said, listen, why don't you go in and get some sleep? She said, because the way your dad's breathing, she said, it might be a while. And she said, and I felt guilty. I said, I feel guilty for not being here. She said, listen, you have talked to your dad. You have told him you loved him. You have said your goodbyes. You can tell him you're going to be in the next room. You can say that. It's okay. And she said, and I'm going to be here. So don't worry. He's not alone. So I did. My dad was not awake. He was unconscious, but I did tell him. I said, Dad, I'm just going to go in my room and lay down for a little while and get some sleep. I said, but I'm right in the other room. The nurse is still here, so you're not alone. And she said, I'll come and get you if anything. She didn't wake me up until 6:20. And I believe my dad passed away before then, but I just don't think she wanted to wake me at that time. And it might have already also been due to hospice. I don't know. But when I went in the room, my dad was dead. And he was cold. So I knew that he had gone before then. I didn't say anything because I'm just like, it's okay, At least he wasn't alone. My mom, when she died in hospice, she was in a hospital, actual hospital. And she was alone when she passed away, which I still feel so much guilt over. So she called hospice. The nurse came at 7:30ish, and then he pronounced my dad, and then he called the funeral home. And they came and picked him up and everything. My dad did not leave me any insurance money. So the money that my dad had left, I had to use half of it for his burial. And I ended up having to cremate my dad because I did not have enough money for a full burial. And I felt even guilty about that because I'm like, I don't know if my dad ever wanted to be cremated. I never talked about it. In his last year, we talked about pre-planning, but, he was so ill that, we never got around to it. And so, that's our mistake. But I remember the funeral home person saying to me, listen, a lot of people are in your shoes. He said, don't feel guilty because cremation is just another form of burial. It's just your loved one is not in a casket. And there's a stigma still, I guess, for people who are cremated and even Catholics. My dad was not a very religious man. At least he never talked about being religious or anything like that. And the funeral director said to me, I want you to think of it this way. He says, of course, I didn't know your dad, but I'm pretty sure your dad is probably like a lot of people that have passed away and the family members have come in and they've not had enough money for a funeral and they have had to do what you're going to do, which is cremate your loved one. But answer a question. You have this much money. And if you let's say I gave you a total discount and I decreased the funeral by, let's say, $2,000. That would almost wipe you out with money and you would have nothing left. Do you think that your dad would want you to spend all this money on a funeral and not have anything left to live on while you're looking for work? And I thought about it for a second in between my tears because I was crying hysterically. And I said, no, I don't think so. And he said, well, that's your answer. He said, there is nothing wrong with cremating your loved one. And he said, and I want you to understand that. There is nothing wrong with it. It's just another form of burial. It's just another form of, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what I did. I had to cremate my dad. We had the interment service in January, excuse me, January 14th. And I'm all alone. And I don't like it. So anyway, one minute. So anyway, I'm still in the same apartment and I was working. Unfortunately, that job ended, but I did manage to save some money and a little bit of money, and I just sold two of my parents' etchings. I have quite a few more that I want to sell, so that will last me a good 4 or 5 months, that money. So this way I can find a new job and start saving that money. I would love to be able to find something remote. And because now that I've been out in the workforce a little bit, to be honest, it's too much on my back, way too much. And for those of you that have been following me for a little bit, you know that I have spinal stenosis and it's just way too much. So anyway, that's what's happening now. So I'm going to go and eat my lunch, and then I got to decide what I'm going to do this afternoon. And, oh, excuse me. And yeah, so that's it. I'll try and touch base later, okay? Okay, so it's about 4:45 or so. I'm starting to get ready to go. And I've got my hair up in a little clippy. I used my new Air Pro something. And I got to get used to using it because I don't think I did it right. But after I tried to curl it with the air brush, I put it in my little clippy thing to try and get some curl. I am getting ready to eat my dinner in about 7-8 minutes. I did my insulin, so I gotta wait the 30 minutes, and that's almost done. And then I'm also bringing a snack with me, just in case, because you just never know. You know, being a diabetic, you always have to have a snack. So I have that ready. And I'm almost all dressed. I just have to put my sneakers on and then brush my teeth. So I can't remember if she's coming at 5 or 5:15. She's supposed to text me before she comes, so I hope that's the case. So I've got to eat, and I'm gonna, all I gotta do is eat, brush my teeth, put my sneakers on, and then I'm ready to go. And then I go to the bathroom, because I gotta do that before you get on the road. All right, I'll touch base once I'm in the car. All right, so we're on our way. Can't wait to go see Tyler Henry. Should have a great show. If we get any messages, that would be great. If not, then we'll just enjoy ourselves. No problem. Anyway, see you there. It's crowded here. Holy cow. My friend is paying for the valet. We weren't going to valet, but when we pulled in, my mistake. Well, I thought there was parking, and there is, but it's for valet only, I guess. And she didn't want to valet, but I'm like, listen, I can't walk from the other place. I don't think I can do that because, you know, my back and everything. So she's paying, but I offered to pay, and I'm going to give her some money, you know, for the valet. So anyway, we'll be going inside in a few minutes. Hey guys, so it's about 10:45ish Sunday night. I just got back from seeing Tyler Henry. So I wanted to give my impressions of his show. I guess that's what you would call it, right? Before I end the vlog. There was a lot of people there. He was at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts down in Fort Lauderdale. And I'd never been there before. This is my very first time. And I did not realize that there were more than one theater in different buildings. They were separate buildings. So there was a lot of people there. And our theater that we were in, which I don't know if there was a specific name, but each building had a name. And the seats were very comfortable. There was the orchestra section, which unfortunately was closed. They came on to make an announcement about it. They didn't really say what was wrong, but they just said that they had to move the people from the orchestra section throughout the auditorium. And then there was the next section, the floor section. And then we were one level up from the floor section. When I mean level, I mean just like a couple of steps. And then, of course, they had the private suites or whatever you want to call those. He was on for, I want to say, an hour and a half. I didn't really know what time it ended because I really didn't look at the clock. Maybe he was on till 9, or he must have been on till after 9:30. because he didn't start till almost 8. He was supposed to start at 7:30, but he didn't start till 8. They were having some issues with the sound. So anyway, he came on and he did a 15-minute monologue. I think it was like 15 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, of how we got started in his line of work, I guess you could say. And then he brought out his mother. His father was not there because his father is ill. And so he was talking about, so he would do a reading and then he would have his mother, he would do like a Q&A. And it wasn't any Q&As from the audience. I don't know where he got the questions. Maybe they were already pre-planned. I don't know. But she was reading out the questions, so they didn't say where the questions came from, so I don't know that part. So he read about maybe 6, 7 people, and he would get an impression of somebody that was coming through, and then he would ask if that rang a bell with anybody in the audience, and then if it did, they would come. If it was very general at first, he gave more info to, weed out, so to speak, everybody that might be thinking, oh, that's my, so-and-so, that's my relative or whatever. And then they would go up to the microphone and then he would talk to them. It was very interesting. I have never seen any of his shows that he has on TV. So I don't know if he's legit. I was telling my friend that invited me. She asked me what I thought, and I said I really enjoyed myself. The only thing is there was a couple of times when I thought it was fake. And the only reason why I say that is because of his reaction. Not the reaction of the person getting the reading, but from his reaction. And that was only twice out of all I think it might have been 6 people, I think, that he gave readings to. I thought it was going to be more people. I thought that maybe they were going to have more people with microphones and, but it wasn't that many. Because like I said, he was only on for an hour and a half, maybe a little bit longer than that. And so it was fun. I don't know if I would go again, but maybe. The other thing is I had difficulties walking around because of my back issues. And it was very difficult with all the people. I felt very anxious. I started to panic when I get nervous, I shake. But I had a good time. I definitely had a really good time. I'm so glad my friend invited me. And so anyway, I'm home now, and I'm gonna, like I said, I just wanted to give my impressions and how it went, and I really wish I would have gotten a reading, but I'm glad I didn't, because I would not have wanted to have to get up out of my seat. All I kept saying was, Mom and Dad and Bruce, anybody in my family, I kept thinking this: no reading, please. Do not come through, because I don't want to have to get up. Because we were in the middle of the aisle. If we were on an aisle seat, it wouldn't have been a problem. But because we were in the middle, next time I do anything with my friend, I'm going to tell her, listen, make sure we get aisle seats. Because this way it's easy to get in and out, So anyway, we waited a few minutes after it ended. And then we she had to wait on the line for the valet to give her ticket, so they would come and bring the car. And man, it was crazy. It was crazy. Everybody, I don't think they let out both shows at the same time, but they might have, because there was our show in like the main part, the main auditorium, I guess is what you would call it. And then in the building next door, there was another show for Pride, a Pride show for gay people. And so, and I don't know if that let out at the same time or what, but there was quite a lot of people waiting in line for the valet. And then when the valet came, you know, they called out the number on your ticket and you went to your car. And my friend's car pulled up and I said, I think that's your car. And she's like, no, that's not my car. And I go, well, what's the number? And she gave me the number of the ticket. And they get out and they yell the number. And I said, see, I know your car better than you do. And I've only been in your car once, twice. So we started laughing. But yeah, so I just wanted to give a little bit of an update and an impression and let you know how it went. So anyway, I'm going to close out the vlog. And thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to try and put out a vlog once a week. So we'll see. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. Like and subscribe if you like this vlog. Please comment down below. I would love to hear from any of you. And let's have a discussion about anything and everything. All right. I will talk to you soon. And thanks again for watching.